Hello, welcome back to ReBlog, the show based on a previous blog post written by yours truly, where I can expand on topics and add anything I forgot, because basically, my memory sucks. Routine and autistic people go hand in hand like a console and a cartridge. There are so many aspects of my life as an autistic person that are defined and categorized into routines. The important thing to remember is that there is no set style of routine, and it's important to teach people what will ultimately help them succeed. Putting the term into a box of set definitions misses many ways that people best live their own lives. Whether you're somebody who better succeeds with a calendar schedule or simply are able to find things they can do consistently, there is no right way to set up your routine. It is important to find what best suits you. Your other scheduling commitments and what you can do consistently are also very important to consider as well. With that in mind, let's talk about routines. The thing about routine is it helps set my brain and focus on a specific task or set of tasks. Think about a steam train. Without the right track and combustion material, then the train isn't going anywhere. If I don't have some kind of routine pointing me in a direction, then I can feel lost and much more likely to disassociate. I'll let days and weeks pass me by in extreme cases without any idea of what day it even is. Now, disassociation relating to loss of routine presents differently than regular good old disassociation, in my opinion. It's hard to describe, as is most cases of this phenomena. However, if you have watched The Legend of Korra, then I would describe it as the fog of lost souls. It's just literally a spirit fog that traps you, makes you lose your sense of self and time, and torments you now and then. What I've always struggled with is consistency in my routines. Like I mentioned previously, I also have bipolar. It sometimes feels like I have two opposing forces inside, one trying to take it day by day, and one trying to bring structure to my life. The problem about setting routines with bipolar is that, by its very definition, bipolar is a constantly changing part of my mind. This affects how much energy I have each day, how much stimuli I can take, how sociable I am feeling, and things like that. The part of me that thrives on routine and structure isn't able to thrive or keep any consistency. When my structure begins to fall apart, I have trouble getting anything done. Let's return to the steam train. Think of it as only getting one aspect that you need fulfilled, which is useless without the others. I have combustion material, but no track to burn that energy in a direction. I just feel like it all backs up. I feel like I'm going to explode, sitting there uselessly with the energy, but nowhere to burn it. I do want to note, I really don't think trains just explode like that. It's a metaphor, and I don't know how trains work. The other problem is having the track, the direction, all of the groundwork needed to succeed, but no energy to do anything. You lack the right combustible materials to get the train going. That's where I get stuck sometimes. I sit there feeling useless as time in the world passes me by, unable to grab onto the ever-spinning carousel. Through a lot of therapy and having access to the right medication, it's easier to notice the third component that's crucial for the train to work, and that's conductor. Shoveler? I don't know trains. Your will to live is extremely important in the equation. If you spend your life not sure if you even want to live, or thinking you wouldn't live past a certain age, this creates a loss of direction and understanding of your own health. My train basically entered the fog, and instead of stopping, taking stock, and treading carefully, I jammed the engine with anything on the train I could burn. I had no idea where I was going, but I figured if I kind of went fast enough and burned through all the warning signs telling me to stop, I'd get somewhere eventually. It is so important that you don't just do this. I know circumstances are different for everybody. You also need to balance it with your own health needs as well. Take breaks in time where you can. Don't just constantly keep your mind busy by moving from task to task, job to job. I hit a point where I had absolutely nothing left to burn. On the train, on whatever the metaphor was, and suffered from such a terrible burnout and crash that I was unsure of my future. It still has ramifications to this day on how I can intake stimuli. There are many external forces that affect routine as well, mind you, and we can't just say that loss of routine or struggling to find routine is solely in the control of the individual. Autistic people are much more likely to be in retail or part-time positions, and if you've worked with them, you know it's rare to find somewhere with any semblance of consistency to the schedule. You're expected to book haircuts, doctor's appointments, therapy appointments, and really everything else weeks to a month in advance. But you'll be lucky to have your schedule up to 3 to 4 days before your first shifts of the next week. How is anybody able to get anything done, let alone autistic people who thrive off of a routine and have extra appointment and care needs that are impossible to schedule in workplaces that put up their schedules late and disapprove of taking time off? For example, I did work in one place that went as far as to argue that the mandatory 2 weeks vacation where we are could actually only be taken a week at a time, or you had to give up a week of vacation to take off a single day if you were really desperate for a single day. And that's not how it works. We also have a very narrow view of what routine is in general, and that means we aren't teaching autistic youth of all the ways that they can succeed. You see, the conductor keeps an eye out ahead, laying multiple tracks with switches as you go. Stay with me, because I know you don't just lay down a track like that. Okay, I get it. Okay, so the conductor is looking ahead, mapping out all possible paths, and laying down the tracks for each. Now you have path options. In addition, you didn't just bring wood to burn, but other combustible materials. What I'm trying to say is that you are better prepared when you prepare for possibilities and diversify what you are doing. Can get yourself to write for a few weeks, putting off your hiatus return. Instead of staring at the blank page each week and beating myself up for it, I unclogged the brain pipes by moving on to work on video thumbnails first. Something else to get your brain in the motion of perform action, complete task, feel good. So often if I get stuck on a singular task, everything else will fall apart. I need to complete that task before anything else can move forward. I basically have to find something else I can get more excited about doing and pull an old bait and switch on my brain. It is so easy to drown in that feeling of, I can't do this, I need to do this, I can't do anything else, that you put blinders on to the world around you, as well as the internal health and well-being of yourself. In addition, we need to stop solely thinking of routine as a calendar schedule. While yes, there are people that thrive in that scenario, when you also have bipolar or other factors that make it difficult to keep a consistent weekly schedule, people kind of run out of advice for that. What's important to remember is that literally anything that is task-based and somewhat consistent can be a routine. Micro routines, as I like to call them, give you those positive vibes that are associated with other routines, but are easier to maintain when you have trouble maintaining schedules. This can honestly be as simple as knowing that right before bed every night you brush your teeth. That's it. Nothing magical or anything to it, but having that consistency will slowly help you more than you realize. Then you'll find more and more micro routines will branch from it. Now you're not just brushing your teeth every night right before bed, but you put away leftovers from dinner right before that. And right before that, you have some ice cream and watch a show with your partner, and so on. If you like RPGs, the buffs start stacking. So in addition, the routine doesn't have to be on any set schedule. Instead, it's more of it can be more of a subroutine, not consistent in any way, but a planned activity, event, or series of tasks in a specific order. I don't edit every day, obviously, as you know from my release schedule, or on any specific days, but each series has a set routine that I do for the editing. Once I do it the first time, I streamline it and improve in each concurrent episode. Even having that set task 1 to task 2 to task 3 order makes all the difference for me. I can't stress enough how important it is for many autistic people to have some semblance of a routine. And the more we talk about how routines can differ and look different from person to person, the better. The more autistic people able to speak about their own experiences and advice on routines, the more of us that will grow up thriving. You can't go wrong with that. So anyway, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, I also do gameplay stuff, regular gameplay. I also do Low Stim High Challenge, which is a series where it's basically just a sensory-friendly series of videos where I do challenging stuff. Right now, I'm doing a Nuzlocke series for Pokemon. So if you enjoy that, check out the playlist. I also do game reviews. I also do other reblogs like this. Anyway, above everything else, it is important to remember that you have a routine and fantastic day.